India are trailing in a home test series for only the third time in over a decade. India are now without KL Rahul and Ravindra Jadeja to go with Virat Kohli's absence, and India are set to enter a test match with their most inexperienced lineup in a decade. It sets up a lot of questions to ask Sanjay Manjrekar as we welcome him on ESPN Cricinfo Match Day to build up to the second test against England in Vizag. And I guess the biggest one, Sanjay, from an Indian perspective, is this the sternest examination of India's home dominance in the longest time?
Yes, and to be fair, we've said this before as well. This Indian batting unit that we have for this series is a unit in transition. We've got three very young players at the test level, especially playing in a home test match, coming in with little experience. So, three out of the top five or six batters are inexperienced. So you have to understand India's situation. It's not like India is playing badly. It's just that there's a new beginning here.
Right, so let's ask you the most important question. Jadeja and KL Rahul, who also happened to be the top scorers in the first innings of that Hyderabad test, gone. Who do you replace with? Who do you replace them with?
I think Rajat Patidar, because he was the one, you've got to go back to how the hierarchy was when the squad was being chosen. So Rajat Patidar comes in for KL Rahul. And I think Kuldeep Yadav walks in straight away for Jadeja.
So Patidar over Sarfaraz because he was in the squad. Any temptation to lean towards Sarfaraz given that he is known for the way he takes on spin?
That would be overreaction. I still want to maintain, despite all the other pressures around and all the triggers that we have around India's defeat, that it was Ollie Pope who made the difference. And if not for his innings, India just would have come in with a lot more confidence. Rajat Patidar is a capable player. He's in form when he played for the India A as well against the visiting side, got runs. So let's not overreact and try and suddenly look for players who play spin well or batters who can sweep well, because that is England's way of winning matches. India over the years have dominated foreign teams on turning pitches without playing the sweep shot. So India have its own way. We just have to find out whether the three new batters that we keep talking about find a way of surviving and getting runs. So I won't overreact and just put somebody in because he is a good player of spin or he plays the sweeps. Well, Rajat Patidar as well plays sweeps for that matter.
Yeah, and he was seen deploying the sweep shot a lot in the nets at Vizag. Our guys on the ground had that covered. Be sure to read that on ESPN Cricinfo. On the second call, getting Kuldeep in place of Jadeja obviously gets you the spinner. But just thinking out loud, Mohammad Siraj, given how little he bowled in the first test, is there any merit in considering playing both Washington Sundar and Kuldeep Yadav, where you get to strengthen your spin as well as maintain some of that batting depth, which is important when Jadeja goes missing?
Well, there is enough batting depth. I mean, in the first innings, we had Akshar Patel batting at number 9. That is enough batting depth. Kuldeep Yadav, for the simple reason that you go to the next spinner in waiting, the pure spinner, and go for pure spinners. I mean, Jadeja is a pure left-arm spinner. I mean, his batting is a great add-on, but you don't take Jadeja because he can do both in test matches. Maybe in white ball cricket, sometimes you do. But in test matches, Kuldeep Yadav comes in. He's got a pretty impressive record as well. Plus the fact that he's going to be completely different from what England faced in that first test match. He won't be that easy to play the reverse sweep and the switch reverse sweep or the normal sweep against.
England have announced their playing 11. Two changes for them. One was forced. Jack Leach misses out, and Shoaib Bashir, a young off spinner, will get a maiden test cap. As also is a return for James Anderson, who replaces Mark Wood. Let's talk through those changes, Sanjay, and what that means to the English bowling attack. Starting with Anderson, that weight of experience, and he had a good tour here last time around.
There's no doubting the fact that he'll do a little better than Mark Wood, who went wicketless in the first test. So that's actually adds to the strength of that English bowling attack. A pure off spinner coming in to replace Jack Leach is also in a way good for England because Joe Root had to shoulder the burden a lot. And when you have somebody like him bowling almost 29, 30 overs, whether it has some effect on his batting is something that you've got to consider. So that's a good thing to do. And I would have thought, two seamers in the first test. But I can understand England still being happy with one seamer in their team purely because of the way the Indian batters played spin. So more of spin, less of seam is the approach, which wasn't the case earlier in Indian cricket. But now with the new age batters coming through, that seems to be the approach.
Yeah, and those numbers on the screen might make our viewers think that, wait, someone that raw. But as we know from the first test, it's not like Hartley and Rehan Ahmed that played a lot more first class cricket, and they had the kind of impact. But it will be a big examination for Shoaib Bashir, who's had quite a journey already just coming to India.
Yes. Yeah. I think the toughest challenge is over for him. He'll find everything a bit of a cakewalk from now. But I want to actually, again, remain upbeat about India, not because I come from India, because of India's, track record at home. I know this is a team in transition with the batting, but I keep saying that win in the first match was courtesy one batter. And I know Tom Hartley got 7 wickets in the second innings, but I want to see these spinners again when there isn't that comfort in the second inning that they got, which is provided by one player.
Just want to ask one final question from the India batting perspective. As much as we speak of the lack of experience, there is also a lack of runs for two of the guys who now find themselves in a unique position where, despite having played only a handful number of tests, they are the second and third most experienced batters in this lineup. Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer, severely out of runs. Will they be feeling the pressure? And would you persist with them even if they don't perform in this Visakhapatnam test?
We'll wait and see. Let's not talk about whether we'll continue with them if they fail, because that is all speculation. But yes, that is a cause for worry. And that is something that won't be solved easily. These are the uncontrollables for the team management, the selectors. Shubman Gill, how does he react to his failures there? And I've mentioned this periodically on this platform that he needs to do something about his defense if he wants to be a prolific run getter at the test level, both against swing and spin. And Shreyas Iyer seems to want to play the modern way, which is about hitting your way out of trouble. So be it. We saw the English batters take a safer approach to be aggressive. He's got to find one, because just lofting balls down the pitch or towards mid wicket is a lot more risky than playing the reverse sweeps and the I struggle to get the other term in the switch reverse sweep. So those are the things that they'll have to work out. But that is something that the team management will be wary of and concerned about, and so am I.
Right. So, few things to be concerned about, but on the whole, Sanjay Manjrekar is still bullish about India returning to their usual when it comes to playing at home. Can they put up a better fight at Vizag? The last time India trailed a home series 2-0, you have to go back 20 years. It was Australia in 2004. Be sure to join us, to join Sanjay and hear his thoughts and insights throughout the second test on ESPN Cricinfo. Thank you so much for your time, Sanjay.